Hey, good morning. It's Dr. Carole Holland here. We're starting today from very cold Florida. You know, we're covered in cold today. That's one of the things for my podcast, Covered in It. And I want to welcome today Freddy Wandres. He is an Olympic gold medalist. I've known Freddy for a few years now when he first came to Wellington, and then I kind of got a very fortunate trip to Germany to see him and how he works there. So he's volunteered today to tell us all about his life, how he started, how he works with his team, how his desires have made him into the Olympic gold medalist that he is, and what his future is with us and with the German team. So I'd like to welcome Freddy Wandres. He's been in with the Kasselmanns for over 15 years, approximately 15 years. He's from Osnabrück, Germany, and he works with their sales. He's their lead rider, and he is now part of the main team at Kasselmann. So today, welcome, Freddy. Today, what are you covered in? Why? Tell us how it's going for you here.
Yeah, today it's very cold, unusual for Florida. I brought my biggest winter jacket with me.
Yeah.
Hopefully later the day we get more the warm weather again, but in the morning it is like this, but it's still beautiful, huh?
Yeah,
so we see how the day goes.
Yeah. So tell me, what I really want to know, and I know we've had many conversations, over the days, but let everybody know, like, what inspired you in your life? What is your purpose? How did you get involved in the horses, and did you have a desire to become an Olympic athlete from a young person?
Yeah, my history, for some maybe who does not even, when they don't know my history, is like I have nothing to do with horses from my family side, so we have no horses in history in the past. So I went to school with some friends, and we went to the local riding club and started some riding lessons. We had to get a ticket off the cart every time we had a launch lesson. That's very typical for Europe or Germany especially. And after 10 tickets were cut off, then I was the only one who stayed into the riding. And I think from this day I was infected with the virus for horses. And every day I was in the stable, every afternoon, the whole evening. And that was the way I made it up to becoming a professional and ending up finally nearly, I don't know how many years later, 20 years of work later, as an Olympic champion. And of course I did not even expect at all when I started, or had not the wish at all to become an Olympic champion. I know my father did. He always told me, but I was always like, when the kids listening to their parents and they say something, they think they are embarrassed and everything what they say. And so I also felt totally uncomfortable what my father said, because he said it also in front of other persons. So I felt like, oh, Father, can you please be quiet now? But yeah, he was right, and he proved right in the end. Like I said, with a lot of years of work and passion and sweat and tears, we become an Olympic gold champion.
Yeah, and I mean, so he must be pretty proud of you right now. So
I think so, yeah.
But you're not from Osnabrück, so you had to start. Did you start with dressage, or did you start with jumping? How did that begin?
I started a little bit both. In a really beginner level. I had a horse which was unbroken. That was the first challenge. My father bought me a horse because, like I said, we had nothing to do with horses. So he brought me a 3-year-old unbroken horse and said, here,
start riding.
Do with it whatever you think. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I started in dressage and jumping for young horse level ages. And when I made up the level in jumping 1 year later with the horse, from 5 to 6-year-old, I think, the fences became a little bit higher also, like for the age. And I remember I was on a show and I crashed directly into the first jump on the competition, and the jump was broken. And that really stayed in my mind. I was afraid also then a little bit, so I moved to dressage.
You moved to dressage.
That was the sign for me to stay in the dressage arena.
Well, it's a good sign, and it certainly turned out for the benefit of dressage to have you in it. Certainly did. But at what point did you start with the Kasselmanns, and then how did you move into like, hey, this is really what I want to do?
Yeah, then when I was teenager, I knew, okay, I would love to do that as a professional, as a business later. But my parents were still strict and said, yeah, that's okay, but you have to finish the school first, high school, and then I also did an education for business, 3 years, and I finished this. And after that, my parents allowed me to go completely into the horse business. So then I moved to the Kasselmanns in Osnabrück, which is one of the main centers for, I think, first of all, Osnabrück area is a very big horse area. It's I always say it's the center of attention for horses a little bit in Germany, a little bit up and down, north and south, but somewhere close to Osnabrück, that's where the horse business is going the most. And also the Kasselmann place is known for good education, not only for the horses, but also for the riders. A lot of riders before me made it already to international success, and there's a lot of things going on, shows, auctions, traveling, and so I thought, that's maybe a good idea to get into this company a little bit. So I did my Bereiter education there, and it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. So with this job that you have, give us a day or a week in your life. Like, what could be a normal week for people that don't know what you do? You don't just ride every day.
No, every day. Yeah, I think
you
so.
do every day.
But a normal week is like Monday to Monday. Like 7 days.
7 days.
A week I'm in the stable, and every day is in general a little bit different, but it's riding the horses, and then there's like Lars starts always a little bit ahead of me in the stable, but I'm also be there because it's not that I'm staying longer in bed. I have to wake up, and then I have a lot of emails and questions and organization with the students for what time the day, the lesson, etc. So I do a little bit organization work before I go to the stable, and then start riding until lunchtime. And in the afternoon it's another time for a little bit of office work and planning ahead the competition which are coming next. And if we're going to bigger CDIs in Europe, also there's a lot of paperwork needed, veterinarian paperwork and traveling paperwork, show organizing paperwork. So a lot of things which you don't even always think about, but it needs to be done. And we have a good team at home also in the office, but I'm the person responsible, so I have to manage it also a little bit. And to get the vet work done with the horses, the farrier work, and to make a training plan for the horses. That costs also a lot of time. So and then the
So
days,
you're in management and riding.
And then but that's also the interesting side of that. Huh? It's not only riding, it's like you have to manage yourself also a little bit.
I think people don't really know that you do that part. So are you in charge of feeding your horses? Do you manage what they eat? Tell us a little bit about that and how you do that.
In general, it's already organized in our company because we have a structure which we have 300 horses there, and it's nearly for all the same. Of course, we have individual programs, but in general, the feeding program and everything is in the whole company the same. So in my barn, it's the same like in the other barn on our farm. So I have to see what do they get individually, but the whole thing, like I don't need to order hay or something, so or the food. This is organized already, luckily by the office, and I just have to give it to the horses. But also the feeding time is important. I often assist our grooms to be there, not to prove them, but to really make sure that everybody's eating, and that whatever I change in the daily food system, that it will be changed, and I have to change the food accordingly to the training. One day he's a little bit more ridden, then he gets also a little bit more food, then he has 2 days paddock, then he gets a little bit less food. So all these things are not to forget and are very important if you are looking for success into the dressage area.
For individual treatment, So as an Olympic athlete, when you converted or became or selected, I guess is the best term because it is a selection, give me 2 things that added to your life that you can think of right off the top of your head that were just, wow, this is so different than what I thought it was going to be.
About stress?
About being an Olympic athlete, whether the joy or the stress or the excitement.
I mean, being an Olympic athlete, the way until there was very hard, and I said like a lot of tears, sweat and passion needed to come together to make it happen. But once you've been there, you really look sometimes back to the way you did, and then you think it was really worth it. And also that gold medal gives me sometimes, when I look back now, it chills me down a little bit. Yeah.
Chills you down? What do you mean?
Like often before, I was always forcing myself to something needs to happen. It must happen. Yeah. And this must in horse, if you are related with horses, if it's a must, it's sometimes not good. Yeah. And I needed to learn this over years a little bit more and more, that you cannot force things, especially not horses, but also yourself. You cannot force yourself to something. It must happen. It becomes everything easier if you just let it happen and let it become good. Then it becomes more easily successful. And after reaching the gold medal, it's more easy for me to tell me, just let it happen. It will become good.
Because you're relaxed now about it. You let it happen. Yeah.
Years before, like when I was teenager and all these years and growing up, then I had the other way around. So, but that's a life learning lesson, and therefore also this medal and the whole way was super good to develop myself also.
Yeah. So was the Olympics itself stressful to you, or was it more just getting there? Which one do you put the most stress?
I think 50-50.
50-50?
The way to get there was hard, especially for Germany, to reach a spot in the German team.
Exactly, yeah.
Once you've been there, you know already a little bit, not with a guarantee, but that the chance that Germany wins a medal at the championship is there. You never know, but it's there. So to make it into the team, because everyone wants to be into the team from the Germans, is very challenging. That was a hard way, and took me a lot of mental energy to get there. But the Paris Olympics itself was a beautiful, nice show, and of course there's also always competition pressure.
Yeah.
But this pressure is also, we need this, or I need this pressure also to perform. Huh? So that's part of the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but I would still say it was 50-50.
When you have a horse that you think you want to bring up to get to the Olympics, what part of it is the horse and what part of it is your training? Do you think there's some horses that could never make it? Or do you think you could possibly make a horse an Olympic horse? I mean, tell me how you would assess that going forward.
Yeah, I have a lot of horses in my daily riding or in the farm, which I see a lot of talent with. But the talent is one thing. The mental willing, or the willing of the horse, is also very important. I often say I can have a very talented horse. If they don't want it between the ears, it's very difficult to reach something. And the other way around also, if I have a horse which is really willing to do something with me, I have a better chance to reach something, even if he doesn't have the biggest talent. In one way I can make an Olympic horse, but I think a lot of dressage horses, modern dressage horses, can make the way up to Grand Prix. Then later, or the difficult thing for us is a little bit like, I have very good horses at home, but the question is, are they good enough for the German team? So I can make an Olympic horse for every other nation, but then if it comes to I'm a German rider, so it needs to be super good. Good is good, but sometimes not good enough for the German team. That's very sad for us. Also, I have a super horse, like he's doing super good, and every other nation would love to have the horse, but it's still not good enough for the German team. That's sometimes a little bit frustrating.
Well, it has to be so wonderful to have so many horses to be able to pick from on your farm. I know, like you said, you have 300 horses there, and the whole system at the Kasselmanns is amazing, because you have your farrier, you have your vet, you guys even grow your own food, as you were telling me. You have your system there. So picking a horse for you has got to be just fantastic, because you have so much availability.
It sounds good, but it's not that easy. Yeah, it's not that I go through the stable and this. So of course, I have always a few horses in my mind and on the plan, which I say this is a very hopeful, prospective horse. But let's say if I have 5 to 10 super prospectful horses, if one out of these 5 or 10 horses makes it up to international top level, we had luck. Yeah, so it's on the way to the highest level, everyone who did that already knows there are coming always so many different things in the way, good things and bad things. Sometimes the horses which you think, you don't know, they develop super good. And then you have a horse which you have already super high future in front of your eyes. Then something else comes in between, crashes your way, and out of a sudden it looks completely different. Or the age, the body grows, let them develop different. So a lot of things to be influencing the way up to the top sport. So you never know. Yeah? Although we have a lot of nice and promising horses, it's not easily made up to the top level.
But the number of selection possibilities that you have is amazing, and especially in Germany.
Yes.
Compared to the United States anyway. You know, we're over here waiting for you guys to send us what you don't have, but or don't want. But in any case, it's so different what I've noticed there, because you have availability to show almost every week. Compared to Wellington, we only show maybe possibly 12 weeks in the whole season. So would you say you're on the road showing more than half of a year to get to where you go? And what does that toll take on the horses? And I'm leading you into veterinary medicine here and how you manage that. So what toll does showing so much take on the horses compared to the United States?
If I would like to show in Germany, I could show really, like you said, every week at 3 different places or even more in a distance from 1 hour. Yeah, so I can drive everywhere, and there's a horse show everywhere, every weekend.
Yes.
And funnily, like a few years ago, let's say 10, 15 years ago, I would have done this. But I will not say getting a little bit tired of that. I love competing and everything, but it's hard to be every weekend somewhere else, and costs a lot of energy, and also you need the right people around you to help you make this possible. So I'm still competing a lot, but not like every weekend. I did that before, but I concentrate always on the to make priorities for the horses. This horse there, I try to make a plan, a little bit long time plan. So for every horse I try to see, okay, he's this level, this age, what can be the goal season, and on the way to the season goal, what is on the way to do. So I try to be out twice a month on the show, and then
per horse, you would say per horse. So does that twice a month goal, or with any horse, or even once a month, what type of physical stresses and what type of management are you doing with therapy and veterinary management with those kind of cases in Europe? Because I know how we do it in the States, but what are you doing there?
Yeah, in general, also funny fact, the Americans are, in my opinion, high maintenance. Like they are doing a lot. That's what I learned when I came here the first season. I was impressed, honestly. Like, I will not say that we are in Europe a little bit behind, but the US clocks are ticking a little bit faster if it comes to veterinarian support. Can I say it like this?
You mean ticking faster, meaning we do more veterinary work than they do in Germany?
Yeah, and a little bit more ahead of modern treatments.
In America we are?
Yeah, in America. I would say like this, yeah. And that's what I said. I will not say that we are behind in Europe, but in America there's a little bit different things, and they look different into things. So in Europe at home we do in general a little bit less. But if it comes to the top sport athletes, we all know that we are doing all our best in the daily work and the daily training, and to do everything what is possible from our side to keep our best friends healthy and happy. But of course they need also a little bit support here and there. It's like with us, when we get also older, we also need a little bit treatment sometimes here or there. So there are a lot of things to do, and for example, with your help, we're getting to the point to make it better and better.
Yeah, I mean, the differences between here and there, I think, match the conditions of the horses too. It's not necessarily that I think in Germany you do less. I think in America maybe the horses require more, or maybe it's a different stress and and different evaluation too. It's not necessarily one is good or bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's also not what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
but
no,
you are
yeah.
also right that, for example, the temperature, the weather conditions, are
yeah.
completely more to take care of. Also, what we figured out the first seasons hardly was that not every horse can handle the climate here, and if you have a little scratch somewhere, it can become a drama. Yeah, this is not in Europe. Yeah, in
No,
Europe
it's
you
not.
just put a little cream on and we'll be fine. Yeah, this is it's not here in Florida like
No.
this. And they can have skin irritation and everything, and running eyes, and yeah, we just don't have that in Europe because of the different climate and
The
everything.
humidity and heat in Florida.
Yeah.
And even though it's so wonderful to come here and compete with the sun and heat, the conditions are a little different. So
Yeah.
the first time, but you've become accustomed to that and know which horses can manage it through that that kind of thing. So one of the things too is I know because you guys on the farm there, you have your own vet clinic and stuff like that. Do you feel like that is super essential that you can just walk down to the vet clinic and how do you manage that with your cases there?
Yeah, absolutely. I was already so often thinking back that I said, how lucky have I been that we have a farrier nearly 24/7 on our farm. They change always daily, so every day there's another farrier. If you lose a shoe or there's a problem, a hoof abscess or whatever, like sometimes I know from other people also in Europe or Germany, they wait then a few days until the farrier is coming. So that is also okay, everyone survives, but it throws you back always, can throw you back a long time if you cannot react directly.
Exactly.
So also the same with that we have a treatment clinic there, and also a veterinarian is there nearly every day coming, local or a little bit from more far away. So we can react very quick to upcoming things. And like I said just before, that I had a lot of situations which I thought, oh, we solved it and fixed it because we could react so immediately.
Do you have one incidence in your mind that you can think of, like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad this vet was here, it saved my horse, one that stands out more than any others, or is it just so routine now you have it available?
It's routine, yeah. It's not that I have one memory in mind which say, oh, that was saving my life, but a lot of things to tell. Like we cannot fill up this podcast now.
For certainly, yeah.
Because everyone who has to do with horses knows it's always something.
It is always something.
If one day everything is fine, the next day you come, you have a scratch here, or the shoe is twisted in the morning to the other side, and yeah. But then you are there, and then, oh, what should I do? But then I'm so lucky to have the chance to react so quick.
Yeah. What would you like people to know from your professional perspective, like other veterinarians across the world that are going to listen to my podcast, that you're here? How is the best way to work with a trainer such as yourself, that's a professional? What tips can you give? Like, what do you think is important for you choosing a veterinarian?
Yeah, choosing a veterinarian is a little bit always, for me, a long time project. For me it's a big question of trust. I need to really trust the people I'm working with, and it doesn't come from one treatment to build up a trust or something. I need to get the veterinarian known better and better over the time, and also you have to go a little bit through good and bad times sometimes, and not every treatment is directly making everything come true which you expected. So, and you need a good communication, a possibility to communicate with the veterinarian, and then it's a lot of things to build up over the time, and that makes a trustful relation, and then this is the right veterinarian for you, I would say.
So a team approach.
So because the veterinarian is the same with the farrier, you also need to have the same with the farrier. They are part of the team, like to my team now, yeah, and they have the same amount on the success, like me, the groom, the farrier, the horse owner, the veterinarian, the trainer. So they are all
your little pyramid to the top.
and they are all part of the success the same. So and important is also, in my opinion, that nobody of these people involved is thinking that he is better than the other or he can do something without the other. Not that the veterinarian believes that he is the best and he can do everything without the farrier or something like that, and the farrier is not thinking he is the best and he can do everything without the veterinarian. So they really all, or we all really need to work together, and only if this all fits into the whole team, then I know I have the right person here and here and here to put it into the team to make the whole thing successful. Because if one wheel is not working in line, the big wheel is not running.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that with all of this, the team approach, and with everybody coming and going, and you have everybody on your cell phone at a moment's, notice. But what would you say keeps you going every day? Like, I know the Olympics were a lot of stress. They could be stressful for anybody. But what keeps you going now? Like, what is your motivation to keep going in this, and what do you feel?
That's, I think, easy to say. That's really the passion for the horses.
The horses.
Yeah. Because always when I had bad times or problems or struggles mentally, that I think, is it all the right way? Am I good enough? This and that. I always answer myself the question to, yeah, okay, but why did you started it once? And the answer is because I love horses. So that's always when you go back, when you have problems and you really go back to the basic start. Why did we start? Why did I start? Because we love the horses.
Love the horses.
And that answers then quickly a lot of questions and doubts.
And is this your future forever? I mean, do you consider yourself now a true horseman forever?
Yeah, I think, like I said, if you once had that virus, you have the virus and it stays. You cannot change it. Of course, no one knows what is in 10, 20, whatever years. So I will not say that one day something, but it will be always have to do something with horses.
With horses.
However.
So you've heard it. You've heard it all. Freddie, what are you covered in today? That's my question. Just think of something. Is it an emotion?
I'm covered in a big winter jacket.
And that's perfect for today. I'm covered in my hat and my warm jacket from Germany. So thank you guys for showing up today. This has been a great episode with a wonderful human who is one of the most professional riders I've met. He runs a very professional stable, and we have to maintain and be up to his standard to be there. So thank you so much, Freddie, for coming today, taking out of your busy schedule, and hopefully it warms up. And thank you so much.
Thank you.